Well, it's homeboy hangout time again, and I want to bring in you into a very interesting conversation that I had. I wish the gentleman was still here that I spoke with, or that was giving me this education or misguided education on relationships. However you might see it, I would love to hear what you got to say about it, whether you agree or disagree. But the fella said dating, relationships, marriages is a lot like buying cars or having cars. And I guess he has quite a few. I didn't really ask him that question, but I said, "What do you mean relationships are like buying cars?" He said, "Well, early on, when you first start dating, you're kind of looking for a certain thing that you like to look at." I said, "Okay, I can somewhat agree with that." He said, "When you're a grown up, you go searching for that one car that you like to look at. It's got to be in your budget to be able to buy it, but it's also you want it to be something that you like to look at." He said, kind of like when you become an adult and you start dating women. You can't really provide for them because you don't have the financial budget to provide for them or take them out to eat or give them this lavish life and spoil them to death, but you still want something that you like to look at. So I'm vibing with him. I'm like, yeah, I could dig what you're saying because, thinking back to when I first hit the dating scene as a grown up, I didn't have no money, like he was saying. Like I couldn't take her out to all these crazy places. If she just like to kick it with me, cool. But I still wanted somebody that I liked to look at, just like that first car I was buying. And he said, "Well, I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper." I said, "Okay, man, we kind of out there already, but keep going." So he then goes on to take it all the way back. He says, "You remember when you were a teenager?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." He said, "What kind of car did you have when you was a teenager?" I said, "Man, I had a old hoopty, but it was loyal to me. It would take me wherever, I wanted to take me from where I could go anyway. I couldn't drive it that far, but I didn't have the ability to go that far." He said, "No money. Somebody probably gave it to you, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "So you were more accepting." I said, "Yeah." He said, "So think about your first girlfriend or the girls that you dated and think about your friends too. Every now and again, somebody got really lucky and they got something nice to look at, somebody that was loyal to them as a teenager. However, you didn't know nothing about them, know much about them. You trusted it for that. Didn't have anything to do with it. No real leadership. No real selection process of your own in getting it." I said, "Now I'm kind of off a little bit." He said, "Think about that used car. Did you go buy it?" I say, "Nah." The first girl you dated, did somebody else introduce you to her? I said, "Yeah." He said, "So the first car you got, somebody gave you that, and somebody introduced you to your first girlfriend. Now you went ahead and make it your girl, and y'all did however y'all did, just like that car. When you got the car, you took the car, you cleaned it, you washed it, and you took care of the car the same way." I said, "Man, you're right because one time my Uncle Bert came home and I had my little car that my pops had gave me, and he said, 'Man, you gonna wash the paint off that car.'" He said, "You kind of took care of that first girlfriend. You had the same way. You loved her. You cared for her, all that." I said, "Yeah, you're right." So far, this gentleman has convinced me through college, through, teenage dating, that cars are like relationships. So I don't know whether I should be agreeing with him or I should not be agreeing with him. But at this point, I'm vibing with him because I got some kind of belief system in it. Right now, he's convincing me. He said, "Now, as you got older, an older adult, before you got married, you got a little bit more money in your pocket." I said, "Yeah, I got a little bit more money in my pocket." He said, "So now you start to look for the car that looks good on the outside. You also start to look for the car that looks good on the inside. And now you've taken a step further. You look for the car that also runs like you want it to run." I said, "Yeah, yeah." He said, "But still, that car ain't brand new." I said, "Right, you're right. Think about your girlfriends back then. You found a woman that you loved to look at. Probably felt like you couldn't do without her. And then you loved her inside, how her personality, her character was." I said, "Yeah." And then you liked how she acted and all the things she could do for you and how she made you feel. I said, you're exactly right on that. So again, you got me vibing. You done took me through my teenage years of dating. You done took me through my beginning dating in college. And you done took me to, when I got a nice little job and I got some money and I got a car. He said, yeah, but you still bought a used car at that time. So although it looks nice on the outside, looks nice on the inside, you like the way it run. I said, yeah. But if something happened to the way it ran, or you started to not like how it ran, or the paint started to fade, or the inside interior started to get tears or whatever, what'd you do? I said, I'm not going to answer that. What'd you do? My man says, I traded that car in for a different model or a newer model. Just like the dating life. You have a girlfriend, she looks good on the outside. You like how she makes you feel on the inside. You like how her personality and everything, and you like how the other things she do too. However, when she's not willing to do those things, she starts to change a little bit. You say, well, I guess it's time to trade her in for a newer model or just a different model. So to myself, I say, man, so far, this cat has been spot on when it comes to cars and dating. And I'm listening as a married man, so I'm waiting for him to get to his next thing about he's got to go to being married. He's got to go there. So I say, okay, what's your next step, brother? He said, so again, you're married now, right? I said, yeah, I'm married. Long time. I said, yeah, 15, 16 years. He said, so marriage is no different. Marriage is no different. I said, what do you mean? Please explain. So he says to me, looks me in my face. He say, when you got married, you found something new that you had never found before in a relationship. I said, well, quite naturally, because I married her. He said, yeah, but you got all those other things that you have been looking for in your life of dating and buying cars and one woman and one car. I said, man, I'm listening. Go ahead. He said, you found something pretty to look at. You found something that you thought was morally great personality, good character on the inside. You found somebody that did all the things that you like and somebody that was loyal that you felt like you couldn't live without. I said, yeah, you're true, but how does that equate to a car? He said, let's take it to the car scene. You get married, you probably got the most money you ever had at this time, and she's probably assisting you with a little money as you assisting her. I said, yeah, that's true. He said, well, when y'all go out to buy that car, you're looking for a new car now. You're looking for the one that looks immaculate on the outside. One that looks immaculate on the inside with a lot of features. One that's going to be able to take you, and if you got children, your children places safely, something that you never had to look for before. He said, and now this one probably ain't got no miles on it, just like a marriage. It's new to you, no miles on it. He said, the only difference is now you have to grow old with that marriage. The same way you grow old with that car. Because you bought that car as your first car in your marriage, you're going to look at it different, just like you look at your marriage. As that car gets older, you're going to try your best to preserve that car, just like your marriage. Now, that car might get old and don't want to do the things that you needed to do. And you got to keep that car. But you and her together, y'all might go out and buy another car, but you're still going to maintain that car you bought at your marriage. I said, man, you better get out of here, man. I'm not fooling with you no more. So I'm interested to know y'all's thoughts out there at the Homeboy Hangout on what y'all think. Y'all think dating is like buying cars? Can you use the buying cars model to go out on dates? Is it right? Is this guy crazy? Am I crazy for taking the time to listen to him? Or are you crazy for listening to the story that I just gave you? I mean, I don't know. Let's think about it, though. It's very interesting what he brought to me. So to all the married couples out there, think back to that very first car you bought together as one. Not the car you bought and not the car she bought, but think back to the car that y'all bought together when y'all were married. Do you still have that car? or you're still holding on to it some kind of way? Let me know at the Homeboy Hangout. Peace.